our restaurant program here at EGTI. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Zach.
All right, thank you, Finway. So as Finway stated, my name is Zach Runyon. I am the instructor for the restaurant programs here at EGTI. And we're going to touch base on technically 4 different jobs we have here within our restaurant programs. Be thinking of some good questions for me at the end. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat box, and Finway will let me know that you have a question. And I'm just going to kind of touch base on each one of these jobs. So there are 3 different training programs with the server assistant, with host and dishwasher. It's technically 4, but 3 different training programs. We have our kitchen cook training program, which is a 13-week training program, and this takes place either in our first or third session throughout the year because it is a 13-week training program. And then host and server assistant is a 10-week training program. And dishwasher and server assistant is also a 10-week training program. And we teach both of those at the same time. So those would be offered in our 2nd and 4th training sessions for each year. So the first job I'm going to touch base on is one of my favorite jobs to teach, and it's the kitchen cook program. As I stated before, this is a 13-week training program offered twice per year. Offered session 1 and offered session 3 each year. We do have 4 different training sites that our students are able to go and train. With COVID this year, it's been a little more restrained than it was last year, but the 625 Tap House restaurant is the main hub of where our students are going to be training as kitchen cooks, and that is also housed here within the Courtyard by Marriott Hotel where our students live and do their training. And then also the Courtyard by Marriott Bistro. That's more of a breakfast style setting. As you can see for that picture in the middle there, that is the Hotel Bistro. And the picture on the left is actually the Tap House. Then we also have a partnership with Roots Burger Bar, which is close to Ball State University. And then just last year, or the beginning of this year actually, we did have a few students who went over to IU Health Memorial Hospital and did their training over there. So that picture on the right down there in the bottom right is actually one of our students training at the hospital. So we're hoping next year to get back into the hospital once everything hopefully gets better. And yeah, looking forward to that. So our kitchen cooks actually receive or try to receive 2 different certifications while they are here. The first one is the ServSafe Food Handler certification, which we spend the first week going over because it's important to know how to keep the kitchen sanitized, how to avoid cross-contamination, how to keep yourself safe, how to keep others safe within the kitchen. You actually go in there and start doing more hands-on activities. Students do have 3 attempts at the certification, so if they don't pass on the first or second attempt, they do have a 3rd attempt, and then if that doesn't work for them, they come back and pay for, I think it's another $16 pay to take the test again if they feel they're ready to do so. And then the other certification that our students receive is through the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute, and it's a certified kitchen cook certification, and this just covers a lot of things that a kitchen cook would need to know if they worked in a hotel. So for like banquets and things like that. Also identifying different pieces of kitchen equipment that our students use on a regular basis. So the skills taught for our kitchen cook students is kitchen safety, kitchen sanitation, food safety, knife skills, which is one of my favorite things to teach. Each student that comes here actually is supplied with their own knife kit that contains a chef's knife, a paring knife, a thermometer, and a blade sharpener as well. We learn a lot of different cuts, as you can see in that picture in the top there. We learn how to slice and dice, small, medium, and large dice, julienne, bâtonnet, brunoise, mince, as well as a few other things as well. And it's a lot of fun getting together in the training lab and learning these skills, and then seeing the students actually take these skills into the kitchen with them to help them prep food. We also learn the use of each piece of kitchen equipment and how to sanitize all kitchen equipment used. And then we also learn how to follow a recipe. And this is a lot of fun when we're baking, because we usually bake either chocolate chip cookies or blueberry muffins, depending on the time of year. Sometimes we're able to do both, which is a lot of fun. So Kitchen Cook, very fun to teach and very fun program to learn, I think, in my opinion. The next one we're going to look at is our Host and Server Assistant program. So this is a 10-week training program, as I stated before, and it's offered twice per year. It's offered session 2 and session 4 of each year. And the training takes place at the 625 Tap House restaurant, which is where our kitchen cooks train. The skills they learn are greeting guests and guest interaction, answering phone calls, seating guests, the layout of the restaurant, and learning table numbers so that our students are able to just walk around and identify what each table is and communicate with their coworkers and other employees. And then general cleaning duties, so like opening the kitchen in the morning, opening the restaurant in the morning, make sure everything is swept and mopped and wiped down, and all the chairs are turned down and set up nicely so that when customers come in, the restaurant looks nice in the morning. Now, the server assistant role, I'm going to kind of touch base on this here. Server assistant role is exactly what it sounds like. You assist a server with anything they need. So the skills and topics that we cover with this are bussing tables, being able to take those dirty dishes back to the dishwasher, wiping down each table once it's been used, getting refills for guests, so being able to walk up to guests and ask them if they would like a refill, and rolling silverware and things like that. Just really anything to help the server, especially if they're super busy, and they even help servers run food to tables if needed. So our Dish and Server Assistant program, again, is another 10-week training program that's offered session 2 and session 4 of each year. This also takes place at the 625 Tap House restaurant, but we do also have some students training at Roots Burger Bar right now, which I mentioned in the Kitchen Cook part 2. So we have 2 students usually down at the Tap House right now, while 1 student is over at Roots. The students do travel independently using the MITS bus system here in Muncie to get to Roots on their own to be on time for their shift. So that's a really cool aspect when it comes to the training outside of the hotel, is that our students actually get to use the bus skills that they have learned and get to ride the bus independently and show up to work on time. So really cool stuff there. Skills that we have for our dishwasher and server assistant is being able to assemble an industrial sized dishwasher, washing dishes using this dishwasher, kitchen safety, storage of kitchen items. So once they've been dried and washed, they need to be able to recognize where these pieces of dish equipment are going to be stored. Communication with other employees, general cleaning is essentially the same as the host in the morning, getting the restaurant set up, making sure it's clean and nice and looks good for guests. And then, of course, being able to interact with guests as well. Finway, is there anything else you think I could touch base on with these? We've only are 11 minutes in.
Go into some details about the crossover of skills that the students are learning in these positions, and maybe what some other jobs that they could go into. So one example I can think of to get you started is for students that are training in the kitchen cook. Maybe they don't want to work in a restaurant, but there is a catering company in their hometown that they move back to. And so a catering company is a great opportunity to go and work at. You're still working with food. You are using your skills and everything that you've learned. So that's a great industry to even get into as well. So maybe some of the others that you could think of.
It's a great idea, because I just had like 4 or 5 pop up in my head when you said that. So we've had former students who have graduated from Erskine Green, who have trained in the Kitchen Cook program, who have gone to work at maybe a cafeteria at an elementary school. Same with dishwashers. Dishwashers could go and work in a cafeteria at an elementary school or high school or middle school. Also assisted living facilities and nursing homes. I actually have a few students right now who are working in assisted living and nursing home facilities, bakeries even. If you're really interested in just baking in general, we do a lot of baking here, and actually have students who have looked for jobs in bakeries or who previously worked in bakeries before they came here. And then the last one I can think of really is the hospital setting. So I know two of our students that were here for session 1 this year have gone on and gotten jobs in kitchens at hospitals in their area, which I think is pretty cool. So these skills that we're teaching here, yeah, they're kitchen cook skills, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to work in a restaurant. These skills can be used in a wide variety of settings. So thanks for bringing that up, Finley. That was something I wanted to touch base on.
You are welcome. Glad I could remind you. What are some questions that you guys might have as Zach was talking through the presentation, talking about the different job areas? So there's 4 different programs just in the restaurant setting that he talked about. So what are maybe some questions that you have regarding that? Does home cooking count some?
Yeah, I mean, if you already are cooking at home, helping your parents or family out with Thanksgiving dinner, then yeah, those are good skills to have to bring here. I've had a lot of former students in this program who have already had some kitchen experience that just want to kind of touch up their kitchen skills a little bit and learn a lot more, and they have, and a lot of them have gone on to be successful and find jobs fairly quickly after they leave our training program. So yeah, any skills you have, any skills that you're working on at home are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So Zach touched base on when we were talking about the kitchen cook, the dishwasher service assistant position. Those also have great skills that go over into those other areas that he was talking about, senior living facilities, nursing homes, things like that. Even the host server assistant would have some great crossover for those jobs as well. And in the sense of, like, if you're wanting to work in a senior living center or nursing home, you would have great skills and great skill set for maybe a dietary aid, being able to help in the cafeteria setting, different things like that. There's a lot of different places that you could go work in all of these programs. Zach, remind me, because you've talked a lot about in the last several minutes, did you talk about the internship mode of the bistro and what those hours could look like? So I know we talked the last hour that our training is coming from 8 to 3, but sometimes the restaurant's not open there in the morning. So what does that maybe look like for the internship mode that students go into?
Right, so once we get into internship mode, depending on where you are placed, you will have a different schedule from 8 to 3. You're not always going to work 8 to 3. So, for instance, if you work at the tap house, you would probably go in at 8 o'clock, start setting up the restaurant, and then be done at 2 o'clock. However, if you're going to work at the bistro, which I talked about before, is more of like a breakfast setting, you would work from 5 in the morning to 10 in the morning and then be done. So 5-hour shift from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the bistro, or a 6-hour shift from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. At the tap house. And then it would be pretty close to the same type of shift if you were at Roots, or at the hospital, it would be from 8 to 2.
Great. What are some other questions? So one is, does it mix up? Are you in referencing the times? So typically their time does not mix up. So it's either going, like, today could be one day, their schedule is going to be different the next day. but Zach can talk a little bit more about that.
So normally my students have a good idea of where they're going to be for the week. I give them a schedule on Fridays that is for the entire next week. So that gives them an idea of where they will be stationed throughout the week. So for instance, it'll let you know if you would be working at Roots, or if you'd be working at the bistro, or if you'd be working at the tap house, and then it would give you times that you would need to be there. I actually have some examples here in front of me. So this would be an example of a schedule that my student would receive. It kind of just lets them know. So for instance, he's working at Roots on this day. So you'd get there at 9 o'clock and then would leave by 2 o'clock p.m. So it really just depends on how I think you're doing in the kitchen. If I think that you are able to leave that setting based on the skills I've been seeing. And ultimately, if you're able to ride the bus and get there on your own is another big factor too, so.
Excuse me, I got a question.
Yes.
Okay, so how heavy is the car to push?
For which job are you referencing?
For the dishwasher.
So
And what was,
how heavy is the cart to push for the dishwasher?
Yeah.
well, you don't really have a cart. The heaviest thing you would be lifting would be like a rack for glasses, and the glasses are made out of glass. Here at the tap house, they're plastic over at Roots, but I would say they're probably 20, 25 pounds. I've never really had any students have any issues lifting them or moving them around, but that is something that if you were going to come in for an interview as a dishwasher, that we would kind of look at together before we even accepted you into the program. So yeah, I'd say about 20, 25 pounds.
Because when I went there, the last time they did not show me dishwasher, they did not show me none of that. So I'm interested. I want to do the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody showed that to me.
Okay.
When I went up there one time.
So Zoe, what I would suggest is this page I have pulled up here right now. I would go to www.egti.org and go over to our programs and look at our training programs. And there's videos for dishwasher, and it outlines everything that you'll be learning as a dishwasher. So I would get on there and check that out and see if that's something you're really interested in.
So go to what?
www.egti.
Hold on. www.
.egti.
Dot E G
T I
dot
ORG.
Okay.
And that's it. Yeah, so I would get on there and check out. There's some videos on there, kind of highlights the whole job, and then Did you say you came for career sampling session or anything like that?
Yeah, ain't nobody. Ain't nobody. So like nobody showed that to me,
Mm-hmm.
and and I went there, and like nobody showed it to me, like no one did.
Okay. So yeah, I would just get on our website and check it out and see if that's something you're interested in, okay?
Okay,
Thanks, Zoe.
you're welcome.
So we have a question that is, how would we get to a job? So when Zach talks about the restaurant that is called Roots, that's at another location. So our students are learning how to use the public transportation here. It's called MITS. And so students will learn those bus routes that get over to that restaurant to do that independently and meet the staff member over there. The other restaurant is the other two restaurants are located here in our hotel. And so when you are part of our program, most likely you are living here in our hotel, and then you would just come downstairs. So there is, says, do you also have a walking job? So all of our positions are either here or at IU Health Ball Memorial. So you would need to get down to the bus station, which is about three blocks from our hotel, and then you can get on the bus to get to our, either to the hospital for your program training over there, or go over to Roots that Zach talked about.
Can you guys show me? I signed up for, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I signed up, and I talked to this lady, and she said that you guys will show show me the push cart, and yeah, so I don't know what's her name, but my mom sent me the email, and she told me that you guys will show me how to push the cart.
Okay. Zoe, did you come up for a career sampling session? Like you
Yeah.
came up here and looked at the different jobs that we offer?
Yes.
Okay. Great. I am going to reach out to you via email and set up a time that we can talk on the phone and we can go over some information, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I will send you an email.
Go use my mom's number. It's 812. Do you have a pen and paper?
I have the number already from the registration. So I already have your contact info and I'll reach out to you tomorrow, okay?
Tomorrow, about what time?
I don't know. I'll get a hold of you this week. And
Yeah.
we'll have a conversation, okay?
Yeah.
Are there any other last minute questions? We've got a couple minutes left here and then we will be ending this one and we will be jumping on back at 4 o'clock as we will be with Sarah, our instructor over in the healthcare programs, and she'll be going more in depth about the programs that we are teaching at the hospital.
I don't have the other 4 o'clock one.
Did you register for it? You would
I
have.
don't
You would have received an email with
I
things in it.
I don't know if I did or not.
I'll send you another link to it.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Nope.
Zach, do you have any other comments?
Not that I can think of. If you guys have any more questions, once we get off of here, send it to info@egti.org. I'll be happy to answer any other questions that you thought of. We do have a new question. Have you had any restaurants partner with you to hire graduates from your program? We don't necessarily have a partnership that's going to hire our students after we leave here. We provide the training, and then it's VR and the job coach's responsibility to assist students with finding a location to be employed at after they leave here. However, a lot of our students that are local to here in Muncie have gotten hired at the tap house or at the hospital, which is really cool. So
We have been in contact with the different restaurants throughout the state of Indiana, where we've talked about the importance of hiring an individual with a disability and talking about our program. And so if we have made a connection, we know that a student is from that area, whether it's a restaurant job, or if they're training in the hospital, or they're training in our hotel position, we are definitely letting our students know, hey, we have a connection here. Check to see if they are hiring, and giving them that contact info. And then if a student applies to those positions that we have a connection with, that we've networked through, then we are reaching out to let them know, hey, one of our students applied. We can't guarantee that a student will get an interview. Our hope is that they would, but we can't guarantee that they will have an interview or that they will be hired there. But we definitely have made connections throughout the state of Indiana for sure. And our hope is to continue to branch out with other organizations across the United States, as well as our students are starting to come in from other parts of the United States. I hope that answered your question.
So how do I get to the 4 o'clock one?
I will send you an email. I haven't had a chance to send it yet. I will send it here once we get off of this one.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Okay, our time is up, so we will, if you have the link to the 4 o'clock one and you've registered for that, we will see you there.
thanks for stopping by, everybody. Have a good day.
Mm-hmm.